Hey guys, MCU Collector here with the next video in the Hasbro Marvel Legends series, Deadpool Wave 2, Sauron Build-A-Figure or Dr. Karl Lykos. Here we have the last figure of the wave before we get to the Build-A-Figure, of course. So here we have Marvel's Bishop, not just Bishop, Marvel's Bishop. But awesome looking figure. We have him here. He comes with one gun, which I believe is a new gun because it's supposed to be specific to him. And then he comes with the right arm and wing to Sauron, so you can see it's just in the package, all huge. So really cool. Let's get right to it. You see Marvel's Bishop there, Legend Series, Dr. Karl Lykos up at the top. He actually has an X logo there at the top instead of the Deadpool one, of course. Side artwork looking very good. You got some yellow, blue, red in there along with the blacks. Looks very good. Really pops and stands out. I know I mentioned it in probably every single video so far in this wave, how it just, you're in the store, you can see it just, boom, you can see it really pops and stands out. There is a look at the figure. The promo image of the figure on the back of the package, looking pretty awesome. Let's get right to it and take a look at that bio. Okay, Bishop's bio reads, on the advice of his grandmother, Alpha Mutant Bishop seeks out the X-Men and uses energy conversion and concussive blasts to join the ranks of his heroes of legend. Now, I am not the biggest Bishop, I don't want to say fan, but I don't have the most knowledge of Bishop, and from the only exposure that I've had to him is from a little bit from the 90s cartoon that he was in. So from my understanding, and then watching Days of Future Past movie, which I think a lot of people will be like, oh, Bishop in that movie, right? What a waste. But he is from the future. He comes back in time, and then he absorbs energy to use for that gun. So pretty cool. Again, that's all I know. Let me know down in the comments below anything specific that I really should know that really stands out about Bishop. But there's a look at the entire wave. He is the last figure in the wave for us to take a look at before we get on to the Dr. Karl Lykos, the Sauron Build-A-Figure. Okay, and quickly, there is the UPC for Bishop for you guys. Okay, one final look before we open him up and take a look. There he is. Let's get to it. Okay, guys, so here is the Bishop figure out of the package. And you know what? I'm not impressed. I don't know. Everyone, I know this was kind of one of the most wanted or highly anticipated figures of the wave. And I'm a little let down, to be honest with you. Mainly because it's just the Hyperion mold. And the Hyperion mold isn't terrible, but it's also not that great. It's pretty basic. It's getting really played out, kind of like the Bucky Cap mold. It's good, of course, but it just, when you see it over and over and over and over again, it gets old, and that's just kind of how I feel about the Hyperion mold. Even though it hasn't been used a whole lot lately, it seems like it has actually really kind of come back. So there was a time period where it wasn't used a whole lot, and we had gotten like the new young Thor upper torso that was not quite as big as the Hyperion mold, but was definitely bigger than Bucky Cap. So I kind of thought that would kind of take over for Hyperion mold, and yet here we have it again. So, but I don't know. The figure overall looks good. I just wish maybe we could have gotten a newer mold or something. I don't know. Something's just lacking for me, and I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I think it's just because of the Hyperion mold. Paint apps are just okay. This is another one of those where, check. If you can see more than one, check them to make sure, because these yellow stripes on the legs, I wish, again, they would have gone over another coat over the blue, because it really bleeds through. Then I have a little yellow scuff on his inner leg there. That doesn't bother me all that much, but the bleeding through, it just now I know the Toy Biz days, the Toy Biz Bishop figure is one of those that truly stands up, and I'll admit that figure does look good. There's a handful of Toy Biz figures that I will come out and say, absolutely, that's an awesome looking figure, that's an awesome looking figure, that's an awesome figure. And that's probably all you'll hear, because there's only about that many that really are awesome. The Build-A-Figures are pretty cool, though. I've seen MODOK. That figure is awesome. My buddy, Plastic Soul Collector, I've seen his MODOK, and that thing is pretty awesome. But it's a Toy Biz figure. But anyway, here is Bishop. The gun, It's pretty plain. There's really not a whole lot to it at all. It's just done in a black plastic color. There's nothing else to it. If they would have thrown in some like red or something for that that energy effect, something, it really would have stood out. And I think that's where they're really lacking on it, is, you know, something, some kind of paint detail, something to the gun. But we didn't get anything. So he does have a really cool holster in the back, though. I actually really like that. It's huge, and it fits over, because at first I didn't know that he actually had that. It wasn't until I had first seen some images of him out of the package where I'm like, whoa, look at that thing. So that is actually pretty cool. I actually really like the way that looks. There's some stitching and some detail in there, which is nice, but there's no kind of paint or anything for buckles, nothing like that. Lots of pouches and everything, but again, no paint to them. That doesn't bother me so much. You know, we do get the X-Men logo, the red and black X there, so that looks pretty clean. So no problems there. Here on his shoulder, he's got a logo. Let me know if you guys know what that logo is. I'm not sure exactly what it is. And it looks like there's some paint defects in it, but when we zoom in, we'll look at it, and then you guys let me know, and then whichever logo this is, let me know as well, please. I'm not even gonna go over the articulation, because it's Hyperion mold. We've seen it multiple times. So we'll just kind of do some zoom ins and get some close-up looks at the Bishop figure. We'll look at close-up of the gun as well. Before we do that, we do have the right arm to the Sauron Build-A-Figure, and just like the left arm, really cool looking paint apps to it. This one, actually see a lot of beading green in there. So it looks like the fade is looks really good. It's very different, actually. Oh no, I seen it on the other one too. I don't know, maybe I just didn't notice it before. But you know, it really gets spotty here, and that's a great way to show the color fade between the light color and the dark color. So I really like the way that came out looking. So that is really nice. Looks like we actually get some of that green wash on this backside of the wing. So that looks really good. Really excited to build this guy, so can't wait to do that. So that is that. We'll kind of place that there, and he's going to be ready to build, and you can see that wingspan is going to be insane. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to have to back up the camera way far back probably, but we'll get to that. So let's zoom in. Let's take a look at Bishop. Alright guys, there is the zoomed in close-up shot of Bishop. Now the head sculpt, I must say, does look very good. You have the mutant scar or brand there that comes out looking nice, just done in black paint. You got some silver for the eyes, white for the teeth, but it's all sculpted very nice. The hair looks good. There's no additional paint color variation in there or anything. It's just all flat black, but it does look very good. And then you have this bandana piece that just kind of rests there. If you remove the head, obviously, then you can get it off, and it's there, and there's a look at it. I wonder if that yellow striping should have gone all the way, maybe through the back of the figure, but there is nothing on the back of the figure. But I guess when you have this on, right, you're not going to notice anything. It's not going to be a big deal. So head just pops on like so. So that looks good. Now the gun, I had talked about earlier how in the movie X-Men Days of Future Past, he absorbed energy and redistributed it into his weapon. That is not the case with the comic character, so I did look that up. That's something that I did not know, so my apologies to all you comic fans. That's not information that I knew, and I, you know, looking back at the 90s cartoon, I don't remember it as much as I should, I guess, you know, my memories go to Morph and Wolverine, probably mainly the season 1 stuff, because I was more of the Spider-Man animated series fan, but it is what it is. So here is the gun. So I had talked about some paint color in there to show the absorbed energy. That would not be the case because he doesn't do that. Comic version doesn't do that, but here is the gun. Anyway, it's just done in a flat plastic. The sculpt of it is good. It would have been nice. But this year, it seems like all weapons, none of them have had any paint apps to them, whereas like previous years, we've seen some paint detail in guns, but nothing here. It would have been nice to get maybe something. Another thing, it would have been nice for him to have multiple guns. So he is a special enforcer from the future. It would be nice if he had some extra weapons instead of just the one. But that's all he has, and then, you know, it's not terrible. It is a good-looking futuristic gun. Here on that shoulder piece, you can see some white paint scuffs. So let me know, guys, what that symbol is. I don't know exactly. These yellow bands can be moved, so you just have to kind of get them around his muscles to get him to stay in place, but you can bring him down. You can move him around. Now the belt and the harness piece are actually on there. Well, I guess the harness piece, if you really work it through the arms, you'll be able to get it off, but this belt does not come off. I actually looked to see if it clipped in or buckled in somewhere, and not that I saw, unless I'm completely blind. You guys let me know, but that belt is not coming off. It does look good, lots of pouches, so I like that, but there's no paint to it whatsoever, so that's kind of too bad. And then there you could see where the blue is really bleeding through the yellow. Yeah, and that's it. Again, it's just a Hyperion mold. Maybe if he had boots, it would look a little bit better too, instead of just the flat tights all the way down. You know, if you had an actual boot, I think that would look pretty good. But it's a solid looking figure. It seems like a little lacking to me, and I may even go as far as to say the Toy Biz figure looks better, which is pretty much unheard of from me. But nonetheless, I am happy to have the character, to have another 90s X-Men character added to my collection. So there he is. Got some clean lines on that one too. So there he is. Let me know down in the comments below. Give me some additional information on Bishop. Let me know what those two symbols on his shoulders are. Hit that thumbs up if you guys liked the video. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, I'd like to thank you guys for watching.